The man sitting behind the massive wooden desk looked powerful to everyone else in the building. His suit was perfectly pressed. His watch was worth more than most people's cars. Guards stood quietly outside the door. Yet in that moment, no one could see what was really happening inside him. His hands trembled slightly as he stared at the papers in front of him. The room was silent, but his mind was loud with worry. And just when he felt completely alone, someone the world usually ignores quietly stepped into his life. Before we begin, if you enjoy emotional stories that remind us of the power of kindness, please subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share your thoughts in the comments. You're watching Kindness Story Hub, where small acts create big change. The Sheikh was a respected businessman visiting the United States for an important international investment meeting. To the outside world, he was confident and unshakable. His name opened doors. His presence commanded respect. People stood taller when he walked by, but that morning, everything felt wrong. That he had barely slept the night before. News from back home had shaken him deeply. A trusted partner had betrayed him, leaving a major project on the edge of collapse. Millions of dollars were at risk. Worse than the money, his reputation, something he valued even more, was in danger. As he sat in the private office provided by the building, he tried to focus on the documents in front of him. Numbers blurred together. His chest felt tight. He loosened his tie slightly and took a slow breath, but it didn't help. For the first time in many years, he felt powerless. Outside the office, people assumed he was calmly preparing for the meeting. No one imagined that a man so wealthy and respected could be silently struggling. No one, except the cleaner. Her name was Maria. She was in her late 40s, a single mother who had moved to the US years earlier for a better life. She worked nights and early mornings cleaning offices like this one. Most days, people didn't look at her face. They barely noticed her presence. She had learned to move quietly, to be invisible. That morning, Maria pushed her cleaning cart into the hallway outside the Sheikh's office. She hesitated when she heard a soft sound coming from inside, not a voice, but something heavier. A long, tired sigh. She knocked gently. No answer. She was trained to clean when offices were empty, but something made her knock again, softly this time. Sir, she said through the door. Housekeeping. There was a pause. Then a low voice replied, Yes, you may come in. Maria entered carefully, keeping her eyes down as she always did. But as she began to empty the trash, she noticed the man at the desk. His posture was rigid. His eyes were fixed on the papers, yet unfocused, like his thoughts were far away. She could feel the weight in the room. For a few minutes, she worked in silence. Then, as she wiped the edge of the desk, she noticed something that made her stop. The Sheikh's hands were shaking more noticeably now. A single drop of sweat rolled down his temple. Maria had seen stress before. She had lived it. Without thinking too much, she spoke gently. Sir, I'm sorry to disturb you. But are you okay? The Sheikh looked up, surprised. People usually didn't ask him that. Especially not someone like her. I'm fine, he said quickly, more out of habit than truth. Maria nodded, but she didn't move right away. I don't mean to be rude, she said softly, but sometimes when people say they're fine, they're not. Her words were simple, but they landed deeply. The Sheikh exhaled slowly. He leaned back in his chair and closed his eyes for a moment. I have a very important meeting, he said. And everything that could go wrong already has. Maria listened. She didn't interrupt. She didn't offer advice right away. She simply stood there, present. After a moment, she spoke again. My mother used to tell me something when life felt too heavy, she said. She said, pause your hands, calm your breath, and remind your heart that you are still here. The Sheikh opened his eyes and looked at her. Not as a cleaner. Not as staff. But as a person. She reached into her cart and pulled out a small bottle of water, unopened. Please, she said, placing it gently on the desk. Drink. Slowly. He hesitated, then nodded. He took a sip, then another. His breathing began to steady. Maria smiled faintly. I know I can't fix big business problems, she said. But sometimes, peace comes before solutions. The Sheikh was silent for a long time. No one had spoken to him like this in years. Not with fear. Not with expectations. Just kindness. He felt something shift inside him. Thank you, he said quietly. What is your name? Maria, she replied. Well, Maria, he said, standing up, you have helped me more than you know. She nodded, embarrassed, and returned to her cart. I hope your day gets lighter, she said before leaving the room. When the door closed behind her, the Sheikh stood still for a moment. Then he straightened his shoulders. His mind felt clearer. The panic had loosened its grip. Later that day, the meeting began. The investors were tense. The atmosphere was heavy. But the Sheikh spoke calmly, honestly, and with unexpected humility. He admitted the challenges. He took responsibility. He proposed a solution that focused on trust, not control. The room slowly changed. By the end of the meeting, the deal was saved. Not perfectly, not easily, but with integrity intact. That evening, as the building grew quiet again, the Sheikh asked his assistant a question that surprised everyone. Who cleans my office every morning? When Maria was called into the office, she was nervous. She feared she had done something wrong. Instead, the Sheikh stood up to greet her. I want you to know, he said, that today, you reminded me of something I had forgotten. He handed her an envelope. Inside was a generous bonus, more money than she had ever received at once. Tears filled her eyes. Sir, he raised his hand gently. This is not charity, he said. This is gratitude. But he didn't stop there. The Sheikh arranged for Maria's son to receive a scholarship through one of his foundations. He ensured her work hours were adjusted so she could rest. And most importantly, he made it a habit to greet every cleaner, every guard, every assistant by name, because he had learned a lesson that day: kindness does not come from power. Power comes from kindness. Weeks later, as the Sheikh prepared to return home, he walked past Maria in the hallway. She smiled, and he nodded back. No cameras captured that moment. No headlines were written, but both of them carried it with them. In a world that often measures people by titles, money, and status, this story reminds us of something deeply human. You never know who is silently struggling. And you never know how a small act, a kind word, a moment of care, can change the course of someone's life. Kindness doesn't ask who you are. It simply shows up. So wherever you are today, remember this: you don't have to be rich, famous, or powerful to make a difference. Sometimes, all it takes is noticing someone and choosing compassion, and that choice can echo farther than you ever imagined.